right. I hope the jump scare didn't get you too bad. If it didn't, you know, let me know in the comments below. But welcome back, guys. Today we are finally reviewing this third Form Frieza. I know it's a little late, but I don't know what happened. They canceled the order, then they had to, you know, reset the order. I honestly don't know why it took so long, but he's finally here. So I'm happy to finally have him and be a part of the gang of people who do have third Form Frieza, because it's been rough, you know, watching people pose him and you're like, where's mine at, you know? But yeah, we finally got him. Let's dig into him. So first things first, let me get this box out the way. And one thing I would like to get off my chest first talking about this guy, because it's gonna drive me nuts if I don't get it out now. All right, so many of you know, have your own different opinions on hype, right? This figure, since it was announced, teased, whatever, the discussion has been hype. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think figures at the 1/12 scale, you know, it's just never gonna be accurate to the source material all the time. It's never 100% gonna be there. It may happen, it may not happen, but it will never happen consistently. You know, maybe someday they can get it like that, but right now, evidently they can't. And I know people are wanting him to have been either as tall or taller than second Form Frieza, and I get it. I know what image you're referencing that off of, but I don't know what led Tamashii to make the choice that they did at this point, right? We've seen the Dragon Ball Super picture with the scale looking different. Maybe they got it from there. Maybe Toriyama told them you can do this, that. I don't know. But at this point, you know, I feel like if height is a deterrent for you for a figure at the 1/12 scale, it might not just be for you. You know, like, I think you've kind of missed the point, like with the figure itself. Like, do you like third Form Frieza? If you don't, all right, then don't get it. If you like third Form Frieza, you care somewhat about the height, I think you still should get it. You know, it's a great figure. And I'll tell you this right now, you will not see a third Form Frieza at the 1/12 scale after this, right? Like, not for a while. How often do you see him get promoted in video games? He barely just got back in the Breakers as a playable character, right? How often do you see him in the anime, the manga? Never. So, you know, at this point, I think if you like third Form Frieza, go for it. If you don't get it. I think he's worth it at retail for sure. Over retail, you know, it's questionable. But yeah, that's my point that I want to get off, because I've seen that argument like the last year, man. And I just think that it's kind of a silly argument for action figure. Like, they're just never going to be 100% accurate to the height. It's just the way it is. But yeah, let's move on to the next section here, so we're not downing the video. And if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments. I love to read them. We have a discussion, debate, whatever. But yeah, let's get into the accessories here. Let me get this dude out the way. So, third Form Frieza. Now, first thing first, I mean, it's kind of his accessories, but you can take these off. They're not hard to put on, and they're not hard to take off. They're just like that, just match the shape up, and then put it on. And there you go. You also do get the tail. They did not give you a full tail. You have chopped off. It's possible that you could use first Form Frieza's tail, but when I was trying to take this off, it felt like it was getting looser and looser in terms of the actual articulation. And personally, I don't want my figure to be loose, so yeah, I opted not to go all the way with it. But feel free to try it in your own time, if you feel more confident about it, and let me know. I think it would be cool to actually have a full tail. I don't know why they didn't include it. I think it just, like I said, you won't be seeing a whole bunch of third Form Friezas anytime soon after this. Might as well give it to us, right? You do get a total of 3 faceplates. My gripe with these is that they all are in some way a happy expression. I think one of these, or an extra one, could have been like gritting teeth, or some kind of angry expression, because I would like to put him in a battle pose against, I don't know, Battlesuit Krillin or Battlesuit Gohan, and him looking like he's taking damage and actually feeling the effects of that or something visually. You know, every expression he has just looks like he's happy, so that'd be my only gripe. He does come with a blast attack. Personally, I should have given him 2. As you can see, he's got 2 hands for this and in the anime manga, he does literally spam death beams in this form. So giving him 2, you know, really I think should have been the option there. He does get these crossed arms, which I will put on in just a second. Hopefully this isn't going to be a trying process for me, because crossed arms like this, like Vegeta for example, bug the hell out of me, man. Like I just never can get them both in there properly. So I'll be right back and put these on him. Alright, so not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Those butterfly joints really do help out with getting these arms popped in, so not too much of an issue. You can see it's a little bit, not all the way in right there, but for the most part, like I said, it was easier to get into most Vegetas that I have to put these crossed arms on. But yeah, cool, done, out the way with those. He does come with 2 open palm hands, 2 fist hands, and I guess you could say 2 half closed, half open hands, clenching hands. Additionally, he does come with the Dragon Ball, Namekian Dragon Ball to correct myself. So we've got the 6-star ball here, and unfortunately I don't have Kurunga and Dende, so not going to be able to do that. They also did the thing again with alternate heads that have a little bit of a different expression going down the kind of eyebrows. So still, I don't think it's going to really change the expression too much for me. It still will look like he's pretty much happy and kind of enjoying himself, which, you know, it is what it is. I don't mind that at all. This form of Frieza, he was just going AWOL, so it doesn't really matter too much. But like I said, you can see it wouldn't change it all that much in my opinion. And personally, I don't know why they do this weird thing still where neither of the faces can fit on any of these. Like this one, for example, will not fit in this. It'll fit in here, but it won't fit in this. Don't know why they do that. I think they need to find some way to make it so they can coexist on either head. Expression just seems kind of unnecessary to have one that can fit, one that can't. That's just my personal gripe with it. But yeah, let's move on, get out of the accessories phase, and head on over to the articulation. Alright, so here he is. Let's take a quick look, starting with the tail actually. As you can see, it's like got 2 different segments. Both can go up and down. You can move it all around, go left and right, yada yada yada. I think I've said this in like maybe 1 or 2 other reviews, specifically for this guy too. I kind of wish that there was a little bit of articulation here too, because it just sometimes looks awkward. Like I would like to keep it posed down in some way, and I'm sure I can make it look more natural than I am right now with some time. But I don't know, it looks kind of awkward sometimes. Like you want it to look natural, and just the way it slants down, I'm sure if there was some articulation here and you could point it down this way more, it could work a little bit better. But that's just, again, small nitpicks. I'm not going to hold it, against it too much, because we've had Friezas this way for the last, I don't know, several years. But yeah, let's get into the rest of the articulation here. So his head, as you can see that there's a huge gap in there. It's on a double ball peg. Actually, well, it's on a ball peg hinge. So not super loose either. It's got some resistance there, which is good. This head is actually really hollow. It's not super heavy either, which is a surprise to me. I thought they were going to actually make it super heavy. So good to know. I'm going to make sure this faceplate's in there. All right, but yeah, he can go, oops, there we go. So we can go up, and then you go down. And of course, he can't really look up unless you use like the back articulation and the midsection here to do so. Swivel, yeah, he's not going to be able to do too much there. The neck articulation, got to take the head off. Hold on. We'll leave the head off for now too. But neck articulation is there. Very stiff though, which I think is good, because you don't want the head sitting down too low. But yeah, you can go up and down, left, right. Very stiff though. Oh, come on, there we go. And then of course the shoulder pads here, they can go up and down. And then we have our butterfly joint that I want to show off really quick. Very good articulation there. Just look at how far across he can get. That's insane, bro. Hold on, I'm trying to make sure I can show all this without the arms falling off, of course. Arms love to do that. This is why I don't like putting the crossed arms on either, because it just gets annoying. All right, there we go. Look at that. Now, how many figures do you see can get that much range in their arms? Now, granted, he is a bigger figure up top, so maybe they were able to get away with that, but I'll tell you right now, if you could get this articulation on a Zoro figure, oh man, that figure would have been like my all-time favorite. But I know. You're wondering why I'm using Zoro in comparison again. I'm sorry. Here we go. So midsection. And then you have a little thing right here that you can pop in, pop out. And you also have your bicep here at the arms. You have your double jointed elbows, and those get some pretty good range especially. And then you've got your articulation here at the wrist with the swivel. And as for the waist, if you use this crotch area here, of course you can get more articulation, and vice versa. Of course the tail is going to get in the way of that though. Then you also have thigh articulation with the rotation here. You can get a really good high kick up there. A little 90 degrees and a little over. And then you have the feet. Got a whole bit of rotation there. They did not give you alternate feet for this guy either, which I could see why. He doesn't really need it, but he does already come with a decent amount of stuff. It's just little things like, again, he could have had one more of these, or maybe one more face. Other than that, I think his accessory set is just okay. But yeah, that pretty much is all of his articulation there. Honestly, I'm surprised more that he could stand up even without the tail. Just because of how much more lighter he is than we were thinking, you know? Oops. Of course, you still gotta balance the weight out, but he can stand still without the tail supporting him. And let me put the head back on too, if it would go on. There we go. And let's get this guy standing up without the tail. There we go. Honestly, such a pretty fascinating figure, you know, compared to this guy, like too. Oh, right there. All right, we're back. So he did tumble just a couple of times, but he still can stand, you know, relatively well, even without the tail supporting him, as you can still see back there. And honestly, that's, again, I've said it in a couple of videos, that's a plus for me when a figure can stand without needing an actual figure stand like these babies right here. So always a plus. But as you can see, I've also got his other forms up on display here, so you can kind of get a nice comparison. Of course, we had the big discussion in the beginning of the video talking about height. You can see it there amongst all 4 total forms here. And I mean, you can count full power Frieza as a form, but it's more like a boost, I think, to his overall, you know, power and whatnot. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, I think he turned out to be a very great figure. He's in line again with all the other ones that we've gotten. And if you want to try, you know, getting this tail on there, go for it. They are about the same size, so I feel like it should fit. It's just, I don't know, it gets a little risky when you start filling it, being like, oh, it's a little loose. No, I'm good. Yeah, I have to say, I really am impressed with Tamashii here. You know, we have 4 forms for a character that's been around for many years at this point. And they've started doing that with like Cell, for example, giving us his imperfect form. You know, we previously were getting the final forms of villains. I know Kibble, we don't have him yet. But we're in the works. We're getting there. We're getting there, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think it's already pretty much confirmed at this point that we're going to get full power Frieza. So don't even worry. It's just a matter of when. You know, they've got the new Legendary Super Saiyan Goku. there's no way that they're not going to do a Frieza. And I think that I would much rather be patient and wait for it, because that's a figure that I do have some standards set for personally, and I hope that many other people do, because again, Tamashii's had a lot of hits and a lot of misses this year too. But yeah, overall, I'm just happy to see a completed set of forms. I know not everybody is going to go ham and get each of these forms, but I do think it's worth it if you're really into the character, really into Dragon Ball. You know, they pose well, they look good on the shelf, and depending on who else you have, they make for some great recreational scenes and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoy yours. Let me know in the comments below what's your favorite form out of these that we have so far. Second, you know, I am curious to just see, you know, how much more often they do stuff like this, because let me tell you, the excitement that I had seeing Third Form Frieza as a figure announcement went through the roof. And I know that's like a thing you probably wouldn't expect, but it gave me hope for other villains too, because for example, you know, Baby Vegeta. Baby Vegeta has to be one of my most favorite villains in all of Dragon Ball, because growing up, like seeing an evil, I don't know what it is, bro, seeing an evil version of Vegeta just set me through the roof, and I was just like, that's the guy right there, baby. But you know, I would love to see them do his first form, like even as a, you know, his own form, when he's not possessing, you know, Vegeta or anybody else. I would love to see the base Baby Vegeta form, the second form, his final form, grade 8 baby. Like, I would like to see this become a normal tradition, right? I want to see them do every single form of a villain, at least even the main villains from those sagas, right? Omega Shenron, I would like to see Sin Shenron as well, and even maybe some of his other brothers and sisters, you know, like Ice and Nova Shenron, maybe Oceanus, Super Boo, Kid Boo, Evil Boo, Fat Boo, you know, all of those, Bukalo, Boo Tanks, Boo-Han. This is like, it's just an awesome thing to see. And with all the new molds that we're getting into, the updated technologies, I'm confident that characters like, you know, Golden Frieza will get a new one that looks even better than the two that are out right now. Metal Cooler, I'm very hyped for that one. I hope it turns out well, because, you know, it looks great. I hope it plays well, and I hope it's not going to fall apart on us. Hope the paint's not going to chip on us and all that stuff. I'd love to see them continue to take new leaps into giving us better figures. I just want it to work out well. But with that, I think that's a good concluding point. Again, figure is great. Articulation-wise, I have no problems with him. He actually exceeds kind of what I was expecting with him. He doesn't topple over. He has great leg articulation. Arm articulation is like amazing. I would love to see that more on other characters. Being able to cross their arms that much is like amazing. You know, the head, I wasn't expecting anything crazy with that. He's literally Dildo Frieza. You know, that's the nickname for this form. But yeah, I highly recommend it if you can find him for retail. If he starts soaring over, you know, I still recommend him in some ways if you're a really good Frieza fan. You don't really care about the hype like that. Again, closing point with that. If you care about the hype so much that it affects your enjoyment of the figure, it's not for you. I have to be honest with that. You know, scale is never going to be accurate 100% of the time, and that's just the way it is. That's the reality. So with that, I'll end the video here. Hopefully there's not too many dislikes for me saying that, but yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. At this point, we are officially caught up with reviews until the next set of releases, which is like Green Goblin, Sanji, and some others. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Hope you have a good one. Peace.